Greetings, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it's Sunday, it's 85 degrees, 4:16, and it's September 9th, 2012. We finally got some cool weather. I think Friday here, today's Sunday, Friday was 104. And last night it got down in the 60s. My grandson had to walk to work this morning. The buses weren't going. It's an hour walk to work. And I told him, he said he was going to be sweaty when he got to work. And I said, no, you won't. I said, you probably need a coat. And he kind of laughed, and then he went out the door and he came right back. Said, I need a jacket, it's cold out there. Haven't made a video in quite a while, so I wanted to make a video, try to keep this short. Well, forget it all, I'll just make it as long as it has to be long, but you know me, I just ramble. Okay, the Republican convention, they had a pretty good convention. Managed to control everything, kind of remind me of the Communist Party convention. No dissent. Everything totally controlled. Nobody's going to say anything wrong until Clint Eastwood. They had a good convention. Fox News, the Republicans, they hate Hollywood. I mean, they vilify, Hollywood. They also hate New York and the East Coast. They just have these things that they hate, and they'll, Hollywood, but they hit, they wanted a special guest star, and they got, I guess they'd heard that I picked this up off the internet, you probably heard it all too. I guess Clint Eastwood had made a speech. I guess he doesn't make speeches, we found out later, but he made a speech, he made a talk, and he had said good things about Romney, and Clint Eastwood, and they contacted him or his agent or somebody, and yeah, he'd be happy to be their superstar. And everybody else at the Republican convention, and probably the Democratic convention pretty much too, but everybody at the Republican convention for sure, everything was on the teleprompter, which is funny because Fox News, not just Fox News for weeks, for months, anytime and every day they would mention the President of the United States, he used a teleprompter. The President used a teleprompter. It was like, what the fuck? Who fuck cares? They use everybody, But that was something they used to attack the President. He used a teleprompter. So here at the Republican convention, everybody was reading off the teleprompter. And most of them weren't too good at it. But it was tightly controlled. So they contact Clint Eastwood, and he said, well, I don't know whether he said he didn't do speeches, but he said he was just going to just talk for a little bit. He would promise that he would say good things about Mitt Romney, and so they gave him, I think, 15 minutes or something like that. And apparently, after this train wreck or disaster, Clint Eastwood just did a little interview with a little newspaper or something in his hometown or something, and he says he's never done speeches. He doesn't do speeches. Well, I think the Republicans. So he went out there to just talk the way I do, just without a script, and just talk, which I love, and which very refreshing, especially for the Republicans. But I guess according to the story, before he went out there was somebody, a stagehand or probably an official, Mr. Eastwood, would you like this stool to sit on, And so Clint Eastwood, no, but I'll take out this chair. And I guess in his mind he was going to talk to the chair like the chair was the President of the United States. So he went out there, and I'm sure you've probably seen the videos. It was disastrous. He was trying to perform, uh, a skit, and he was trying to do it, just, and it was a disaster. But Clint Eastwood, everybody, even the Democrats, even everybody after he made this, oh man. I mean, it was a disaster because it was a disaster because it was a disaster. But he even said, I mean, the things he said, he even said, something about, we don't need a lawyer for a president or whatever. Barack Obama went to Harvard Law School. Guess who else went to Harvard Law School? Mitt Romney. So, I mean, but after it was over, Democratic sites and Democratic politicians and everybody said, oh, Clint Eastwood's a good, which he is, fantastic actor, fantastic director, and nobody came down on him. This little interview that he did the other day with the newspaper, he said, I forget what he said, something about Obama being a fraud or something, I mean, he survived this. He really should just keep his mouth shut. I mean, everybody, Democrats, Republicans, nobody hates him. So at this point, I would think, please don't get into the Ted Nugent, what's the other one? Don't get into, let me look here. Don't get into the class with these other people. Sounds like my grandson is home. I'm making a YouTube video, Russell. You want to be on YouTube?
No.
I don't think he does. So then we go to I wanted to warn him that I was recording. Now we go to the Democratic convention. They had a fantastic convention. Of course, all these things are staged. They're all programmed. It's show business. It's PR and everything, but they had a fantastic convention. I mean, all the speakers the Democrats had a fantastic convention. Reports indicate that the Republicans got a 1% boost out of their convention, and the Democrats have got a much bigger jump out of their convention. And according to a couple Republican sites, I'm out of Coke. I'm going to drink this. Oh. Even two Republican sites are saying that, in fact, some Republicans are now saying, experts are saying that it looks like Mitt Romney is going to lose at this point, the election. I think the election is going to be really close on popular vote, but I think on electoral votes, I think that President Obama is going to win. But, it's 2 months away, and you don't know what's going to happen. We've got the debates coming up. I don't see how, I'm going to end this pretty quick on politics. Didn't want to get into it, but did want to cover the conventions. I don't see how Mitt Romney can only release, so far he's only released 1 year tax return, but he's going to release another year. I don't see how he can get by. I don't see how he can get elected. I don't see how hardly anybody would vote for him, since he's not really releasing his tax returns. And there's got to be something really bad in his tax returns. Now, even if it wasn't too bad, at this point he's correct. I mean, they're correct. I mean, if they released him now, that's all for the next 2 months. It'll be talked about, all the stuff in his tax returns. Either he shouldn't have run for president if he couldn't release his tax returns, or whatever it is, he should have released it way back in the beginning and let everybody scream and holler and point at it, and then it would have been over. I mean, at this point, he would be able to say, we've been through all this. This has all been discussed. I want to go on to talk about the economy, that type of thing. But changing subjects. I'm wanting to get a new ham radio. I've got a ham radio. Ham radios in the United States, well, all over have always been pretty expensive. But the Chinese now are making some nice little radios. This is a dual band ham transceiver. I got this for $100. I think you can get it for like 50 or 60 now, and it's a nice radio. I want to get a new one. I want to get a really fancy one, and we're talking $450, $500. I had a Kenwood before. I had the model that I think was right before this one, or before the one that was before this one, and it does APRS, which you don't know what that is probably unless you're a ham. I'm also thinking about this one. This also does APRS. Thinking about this one. I can't make up mine. And they're both about the same price, about $450, $500 for it. It's hard to make the decision for a number of reasons. I'm leaning towards this one, the Kenwood, because it comes with the USB cable and the software to program it. You know, this holds like 1,000 channels, frequencies, and of course that's way more than I would ever put in the radio, but there's local repeaters and things that I would put into the radio, and doing it, you know, on the keyboard. So you want to do it on the computer and load in, which and the Yaesu, they charge quite a bit extra for the software and for the cable. And the cable is not a USB cable. It's well, it's a USB that converts to a serial port, but and the Kenwood, you can put in a SD card to it too. So I think I want to go with the Kenwood. The problem is, if you watched my videos before, I've left Windows. I don't use Windows anymore. I'm using Linux. And I did it, you know, I used to use, I've been using Linux and Windows, had them both on my computer, dual boot for a long time. I finally just did away with the dual boot, because what always happened is I would be, okay, I want to do something. How do I do that in Linux? So then I'd boot over into Windows. I was always going to Windows, using Windows. And I decided to do away with it with Windows. That way, when a problem comes up, okay, I can't go to Windows, so I'll solve the problem and figure out how to do it with Linux. But the software is Windows only software, and you can try to do it on Linux. You're just asking for headaches. I mean, there's a wine program that you can run Windows Pro, but you know, you're just looking at. So now, gosh, I don't want to. You know, I'm trying to think. Basically, but would only have to, you know, use the computer one time, and then very rarely after that would I have to use it. I'm thinking, you know, can I use somebody else's computer to do that rather than have to run Windows? So anyway, what else did I want to talk about? Let me look at my blog just for a second here. Let me see if I can remember how to take this off the tripod. Let me look here and see. Whoops. This is my blog, and it's running on WordPress. This is latitude here. You know, you can see my location. And if I move, you can actually track me on that. Pretty neat. But I was doing that before with ham radio and using APRS, and it was showing my live tracking as I was going, my speed and all types of stuff. But nobody cared, and nobody cares now. But I just think it's pretty neat. I guess. I'm a fan of the old fart rants, and I've got his playlist here on my. No, I do not. What happened here? Oh, here it is. Yeah, I do. It's always at the top. Yeah. And this is his main playlist. That's his political playlist. He had a heart attack, and he's not making videos right now. He's going to be. So I don't know. If you're a fan of the old fart rants, maybe go over there, and if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe. Be a nice, he's, be a nice gesture or something, or go over and like his last video or something for him, because anyway, he's had a heart attack, and he's at home, and there's a video there that says that he will be back to making videos, but maybe you could go over and say something to cheer him up or something. Anyway, that's it. Thanks very much for watching.